So, thank you for checking out my podcast. And if you're wondering how I record my podcast, well, I actually use Anchor, which is a fantastic tool, free resource to use. But if you're new to podcasting like I have been, it really helps you to get started without worrying about editing and doing all the sort of hard work yourself. It does it all for you. If you haven't used it, it's probably the easiest way to make a podcast. So, let me explain a few tips for you. It's free, which is fantastic. You don't have to pay anyone to edit your podcast or pay for software. There's loads of tools that allow you to record and edit the podcast right from your phone and computer. So again, you don't need any special equipment. So if you're looking to start a podcast and you're sort of on a budget, it's a perfect way of starting. The best thing which I found, it helps to distribute your podcast for you, so you can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more hosts that listen to podcasts. The best thing for me was that, because trying to distribute it from another software was really confusing, and all the technical know-how, which I don't have, was done for me by Anchor. So you can just, once you click the podcast, say where you want it delivered to, and it will do all the work for you, which is fantastic. And also, you can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. So ads like you listen to on this one, this is an ad just talking about Anchor. You can get a little bit of commission from that, which is great. So extra bit of money in your pocket from doing what you love. And I have no problem doing this advert for Anchor, because ultimately it has allowed me to create a podcast. So if you're passionate about something, I'm going to talk about it, and it's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. So for me, I would recommend Anchor 100% if you're looking to start to do a podcast. And obviously then you can, elaborate and get better with your podcast, but you can just get better sound equipment. But all the software you need to do a podcast on the go or at home on a computer is all from Anchor. So for me, it's the best tool I've ever used when it comes to starting a podcast. So definitely, if you're interested in starting your own podcast, whether that is on health or fitness or travel, just pick something that you're passionate about and talk about it, then download the free Anchor app, or go to anchor.fm to get started.
Hello and welcome to the Plant-Based Revolution podcast with your host, myself, Neil Damrell from My Lifestyle Coach. Thank you very much again for joining me again this week, and hope you've been enjoying the episode so far. So today's episode, I'm just going to be talking about standing and why standing, or actually sitting, is the new smoking. So if you're anything like me, and most people work in the UK, and I'm guessing that you'll be tied to your desk all day. So as a health consultant, I talk to employees and businesses every day and highlight the importance of spending less time sitting down. All the while, I'm doing exactly the same, sitting down for 8 hours a day, encouraging others to do completely the opposite. So for myself, who is very conscious of my own health and is very active, I did feel like a hypocrite recommending that everyone needs to stand more while I was sitting down doing exactly the same. And it wasn't until I presented a workshop on being more active within the workplace that I discovered the true impact of sitting. And while I knew sitting for too long wasn't great for me, I had no idea how damaging it can be. So if you think about most people in the UK sit for 8 hours a day at the desk, they may even sit for up to 20 hours a day, and only stand for 4 hours a day. So if you think about the time that you're asleep, 8 hours, the day you're at work, 8 hours, and then you're going to add on an extra 4 hours, maybe commuting to from work, which could be an hour either way, and sitting down their lunch, etc. So the stats are very shocking in terms of how often people and how long people do sit down. And even if health professionals, or we might see people online promoting health, they go to the gym, but they spend a lot of time connecting online and actually sat down doing the same. So exactly, we're all very, I feel, in the industry quite hypocritical of what we promote and actually not doing the same thing. So it was very important for me to practice what I preach and invest in a standing desk. And while doing the presentation, I actually discovered that as soon as you sit down, your body reverts to burning just 1 calorie a minute. And over a period of 24 hours, can reduce your body's ability to uptake glucose by as much as 40%, which will be increasing your risk of type 2 diabetes. And also, while sitting for 6 hours a day over a 2-week period has shown to increase your bad cholesterol, which is your LDL levels, by putting a greater risk for you, increasing your ability to gain more weight by sitting down for periods of time. Plus your muscles begin to break down, affecting the ability of pumping of blood to your heart, increasing the risk of heart disease. And even if you work out every day, as I said before, your body reverts back to this as soon as you sit down. So as long as you do, the longer you sit down, the greater your risk increases. So all these stats, and there's many mineral stores that I've looked at doing my research that are completely shocking. In fact, if you spend 20 years of your life sat down, then that can increase the risk of heart disease by as much as 64%, and your risk of prostate or breast cancer by as much as 30%. So if you think about your working life, which it could be even more than 20 years, and if you sit down for 8 hours a day, 20, 40, 60 years, we're working longer, we're living longer, so retirement age is increasing. So think about your working life where you're spending most of your day at work, then the time you need to be engaging your body by standing more is definitely going to benefit you in the long run rather than sitting down, especially if you look at those stats and those increases risk, it's going to double and double and double even if you go for a run. So they've shown that even if you go for a run of an evening for just 30 minutes, that's not going to offset 1 hour, 8 hours of sitting down. Where running can offset the impact of smoking to a certain point, it certainly cannot reverse the impact of you sitting down for 8 hours or more per day. So British people, in fact, I'm here in the UK, sit for an average of 8.9 hours a day, and that can also increase the risk of premature death by 5%. Might not seem a lot, but we all want to live longer, and every step we can take is those small marginal gains that can stack up in your favour in the long run to keeping you healthy and happy for a lifetime. So as I said before, when I was looking through these stats, doing my research, doing the presentation, it really was a shocking statistic, and it really kind of shocked me into action and what I had to do in order to stand more. Another point was that I do quite a bit of running, and I picked up a hip injury training for a marathon this year, and my physio said that my glutes want firing. So one of the main mechanisms for running is your glute maximus, which is your bum. That needs to be nice and strong, but also having a strong glute will help prevent low back pain and also make you a more efficient runner. So, and one of the culprits of having a weak glutes is being sitting down all day. So think about you're sitting down your bum is disengaged, you're not actually engaging your glutes. So over time, your glutes, your bum become weaker and weaker and weaker. That's why squatting and working on these glutes with floor bridges, etc., should be paramount in everybody's workout on a daily basis, really trying to engage those muscles. In fact, I saw a research the other day where you stand up while you're working, if you bring your heels together and point your toes out, that engages the glutes again and lifts them up. And if you can do that for a while standing, definitely that's engaging more of your glutes, which is going to help just engage those more often throughout the day. So that's definitely a good tip that I've started to implement while I'm standing as well. So what did I do? I invested in a standing desk myself, and the standing desk was by Stand. I did have a bit of research and have a look around before I invested in anything, but the key issue for me was that I work mobile, so I do not have a fixed desk, I do not have a fixed office, so I needed something that could be portable, that I could put my laptop on. And I came across Stand, which I'm not promoting them, I'm not being paid for this, but they're the only stand that I found which I got from America, where you can just fold down, put in your bag and carry around with you and set up quite comfortably in any location. And you can get them for different heights depending on your height, and the key is making sure that your elbows are 90 degrees so you're sitting comfortably or resting comfortably while you're working on your laptop. You can also get bigger ones that have the ability to have a mouse on the side as well. So if you've got a bigger desk and you need to do more work with a mouse, then you can get a wider one, which maybe be more convenient for you if you're at a fixed location. It was an investment, I must say, but like I said, investing in my health is paramount to me, and the benefits I've seen over the last 4 or 5 months has been massive. So, I feel more energized, have no sort of neck or back pain, as you would do from sitting down for long periods of time, so bad posture, hunching over, as you may do at your desk. Also feel that I have more energy throughout the day, so I no longer have that mid-afternoon crash where you feel you need a sugar fix to get you to the end of the day. So constantly, because you're burning more energy, you're burning more sugars after you've eaten, so you're helping to regulate your sugar levels more efficiently throughout the day, as opposed to sitting down just while you're eating and then feeling tired and sluggish, as most people do after lunch. So in fact, other studies that I found looking into impact of standing desks in the workplace found that the participants were actually less anxious and cited more improved quality of life. Plus, employees who reduced their time sitting actually used the desk and allowed them to work while on their feet found that they felt less tired and energized. And more research is coming out about the benefits of standing desks, and more people are definitely impacting and choosing to invest in standing desks. A few companies I've visited this year, in fact, have had the ability for standing desks where you can put the desk up or down, choose whether you want to sit or stand, so you can build up the importance of and the ability to stand more throughout your working day. I don't expect you to go straight in to stand for 8 hours a day, but if you can add in little bits of standing throughout a day, it's definitely going to benefit you in the long run. And also, I've seen people with a walking desk as well, so they have a little treadmill underneath and do a little bit of walking while they're standing. So, all these revolutionary techniques is definitely going to help people be more efficient at work, and as we said, less tired, more energized, and that's definitely going to benefit not just you, but the workplace that you work in and the employees around you. So also, people feel, when I say this to them, it's amazing how many more calories you burn just by standing. And in fact, research has shown that if you stand for 3 hours a day, 5 days a week, you will burn around 750 calories a week, which is the equivalent of running 10 marathons a year. Now, those extra calories you burn each day, and you're not doing any exercise. So if you think about how you want to control your weight a bit more, it's very simple. By just standing all day or up to 3 hours a day, as simple as that. You don't have to go and do any more exercise, but obviously the more activity you can add in during your day, rather than physical exercise, the more active you are generally, you're going to be burning more calories. So it's definitely going to be a benefit for you in terms of losing weight if you're looking to lose weight, or certainly maintaining a healthy weight if you're looking to do that as well. So aside from walking more throughout your day as well, I would always advise to take regular breaks from sitting. Stand on the bus or the train if you can. This, if you think, is a big investment in your health, and if you would be investing in a standing desk, then looking into your business, look into the business to see if a standing desk is definitely an option. But all those other options that you can have while being at work by getting up and walking and standing more, then this has definitely helped you to keep more active during the day. And as I said, the exciting thing is that more businesses now investing in more standing desks, so hopefully we will be more, this will be more accessible to everybody within the UK especially, and globally, hopefully in the future. So my option today, I'll be standing today, and I hope you guys will be standing more as well. But this is a little blog that I've written as well, so I'm going to hopefully post this on social media so you can have a read about this as well and look up some more of the stats that I've included in the article. And if you do have any questions about standing desks, then please get in touch with me. Or if you want to know more information on where I got my standing desk from, then please get in touch and I can send you a link to their website. They're very good. It's very light, it's made out of bamboo, and it's really, really, really fantastic. So definitely a worthwhile investment that I've included into my working life, which has been a great benefit to me. So that's it. That's today's episode. Short and brief. I do apologise if it was a little bit rushed, but I wanted to get this one in for you. Short and to the point. Why sitting is a new smoking, and hopefully you can stand more off the back of this podcast episode today. Thank you very much again for joining me on the Plant-Based Revolution podcast, and we'll see you next time.